Yeah, man, this is in the car with Chris Gardner.
This should make me look real big.
Yeah, dude, I look small as hell. God damn, man. What the fuck? You look taller, like you're taller than me, everything.
Huh?
What the hell? You sit like you sit on a booster seat.
This sweater make me look big as a motherfucker. Yeah, we ain't using this shit.
God damn, huh?
You said this sweater make me look big as a motherfucker.
Oh, that's hilarious. Let me take the sweater off.
I don't got no shirt on. It's been hair around the house. I got a bag here.
Oh, that's funny as hell, man.
Yeah, I wore some this yesterday.
So,
Yeah, let's go.
dude, you should look good though.
Yeah, look good.
It's like it's a vibe. It's a vibe. Yeah, man. What's happening?
Huh?
What's happening?
True. Yeah, nothing much, man. Here, hold on. What do you want to talk about?
Honestly, I've been so busy, man. I didn't write out a subject matter down like I was supposed to. So
Okay.
this is just like if some shit happens, cool. If it don't, it don't. I'm just
Yeah.
feeling it, getting the feel for it. Can we feel natural in it?
Believe it though, like
Yeah.
in the sense of um, take it wherever you want to take it. I'll respond. But
What do you think is the best bean and why?
huh?
What do you think is the best bean and why?
Best bean, man. I would have to go with the black bean or the mung bean.
The what? Oh, that's the white bean. Mung beans are white. No, that's
No,
not
it's
white bean.
green. It's a
Oh shit,
green
I didn't
bean.
have mung beans. I
Yeah,
be seeing those.
black beans or the mung bean.
Damn, I've had mung beans. I don't know if I had mung beans, man.
Yeah, a lot of Asians use mung beans.
Yeah, I go back and forth. I used to be a black bean guy, but the pintos be hitting
I
sometimes.
haven't had a pinto. I remember when I first went vegan, I was on pintos. That was my
It's
favorite.
probably the
That
most
was probably
basic
my
bean.
favorite bean. But I would say for the past 3 or so years, black beans kind of been my vibe.
Yeah,
You know, it's hard to beat a good black bean.
that's real. I go back and forth. I think I like blacks and pintos equally.
And it depends on what it is, because
And who making it? And,
the right you get somebody who make the right red beans or rice. That kind of hit too.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Red beans are kidney beans, right?
Yeah, it's kidney beans.
Yeah, I be buying those. I
I
mainly
don't
buy
I
black
don't
beans
I
and
don't I
kidney
don't
beans.
make kidney beans too well myself yet. I
Yeah,
haven't really got too much practice with it.
you'll get there. You'll get there. Shit, man. I was driving Uber the other day, and I picked this woman up, man. It was this gay white woman, and we was just chopping it up for a little while. And I forgot how she got on the subject of Trump and everything. And trying to remember this correctly, she got on the subject of Trump, and no, we was talking about living in California. I was telling her how I was from here. She moved here from Ohio, and she was like, "Would you want to live nowhere else? Anywhere else?" I was like, I've traveled other places, and it's been nowhere I would want to live. You know what I'm saying? Like it has its issues. It's hell expensive, right? But I told her if I move somewhere, if I want to move somewhere, it'd probably be out the country. If I really want to like up and move somewhere, you know. And we started talking about moving out the country and all that. And then Trump kind of came up. Then she was like, I'm like, I'm gay. I'm a gay. What are they gonna do with the gays? I mean, God, I hope they don't come for the gays. And if I moved, I would like to move to Spain, but what if Europe turns far right and I'll move to Mexico? But what if Trump takes over Mexico? And I had this moment, like this light bulb moment. I was like, oh damn, man. I was like, this is who these people are. You know what I'm saying? Let me elaborate. It's like, don't get me wrong, whatever you consider bad things, they've happened, they do happen, and they will happen. But I realized her brain was just on a loop of like negativity, stress, anxiety, fear, negativity, stress, anxiety, fear. So even when she was talking about moving somewhere and escaping, her idea of what she needs to escape, it still had a negative ending, right? So I'm like, okay, so it made so much sense that when it comes with a lot of liberals, man, this is who they are. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, external things happen, but it's not even all about the external things. That's just internally.
It's a program.
It's a program running in them. So I'm like,
all that's needed is an input.
the
It
impulse,
creates the
and that's
output.
where they go. So I'm thinking, let's say Kamala won. Even if Kamala did win the election, right? Cool, yay, Kamala won. But as soon as the next boogeyman pops up, whether that's in the form of a person or a situation, that program go run. They go act like maniacs, the same way they did with COVID, the same way they do about Trump. Just that erraticism and that neuroticism.
But the thing is, part of the neuroticism is even if Kamala would have won, and it would have been obviously would have been a whole host of you know different issues. Whether these who knows what they would have been.
Yeah.
But the Democrats would have overlooked
Democrats.
everything that she did.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. They just overlook things and they choose what they want to lose their minds about.
Yeah.
So I had a moment with that. It brought so much into perspective. I was like, oh damn, this is what they are.
Yeah.
This is their minds because I'm like, girl, we live in the same country, we live in the same state. I'm black, along with natives. On paper, they're the original sin of the country. What a lot of people would consider. She gay, but I'm not tripping,
Yeah.
and she tripping, and we in the same place. So that's internal.
It's internal.
That's not external.
And you realize, man, like when you able to track the patterning of someone, a person's emotional state, you realize most people ain't nothing but an algorithm.
Yeah, it's an algorithm running on them. Yeah.
And as much effort as the government and media put into learning the map of the human nature, that's all we are to them. They know how to get a reaction.
Get your reaction. Then how to play you like a fiddle. Yeah. So that was sweet lady. I'm not doctor. I'm not dissing her.
Not at all.
Sweet girl. We had a good conversation, and she tipped me good as hell too. So shout out to her. But I just realized internally, I'm like, oh, that's what a lot of these people are. So when these people, even right now, people always flipping out on the internet all the time, you realize, oh, these people they're not really to be taken seriously because they're just an algorithm running. They haven't interrupted the algorithm that's running with them.
They part of the artificial intelligence.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really what it is, man. And it's like when you dig into like metaphysics and whatnot, and like that's all the ego really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if that's like
they all ego, just a negative aspect of it.
If that's the totality of like your awareness,
yeah,
then you're not really much outside of that,
Yeah.
It's also malleable.
Yeah.
There's nothing like intrinsic about it.
Certain people on the internet, man. I'll be on social media, man. Certain people, I realize they just been railing since the pandemic, probably about something before that. But ever since they just been always on kicking, always losing their mind on consistently. Oh, the pandemic, you're not getting vaccinated. Trump, So I'm like, this ain't the world. Don't get me wrong, shit happens in the world. We human beings still. So I'm not saying the wrong things don't come up to be afraid of. I'm not saying things don't come up to cause anxiety. But I'm saying is you internally run on that program. You know what I'm saying? And it's fascinating, man. It's real fascinating. It was like one of those moments for me. Like I was like, oh,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So she talking about where she want to move. So her own escape plan, she adding these made up negative variables.
Yeah, it really just shows you.
I will go to New Zealand, but it's hard. She said that. So first she said Spain, the far right. What if the far right takes over Europe? Then she said, I will go to Mexico. What if Trump takes over Mexico? Whatever that looks like.
And then she said, you go find an enemy.
Yeah. And then she said, I will move to New Zealand, but it's hard to get citizenship. Oh, this has nothing to do with the world. This is you.
Yeah. You carrying all that shit with you.
That's
wherever you go, you carrying it with you.
Yeah, man. So that was a cold. So like you can't even take those people seriously.
Yeah, you can't, man.
Yeah, you can't even take those people seriously, man.
It's nothing real there,
Yeah. It's just a program.
Basis or perspective or foundation for anything,
Yeah.
Not anything lasting, at least. Where do you think this all leads?
Oh man, I don't even know where to start. Man,
Maybe it's just the narrative of this, the whole
maybe it's the
cycle of human
separation.
existence. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you hear about the rise and fall and the floods and the different, civilizations. Maybe this is the cycle of the shit.
Oh, you talking about this might be the end of this era of this?
Yeah, or just like, has this always been the state of like human nature?
Oh, yeah.
You know,
You saying is it has it always been this, or is it exacerbated
like
now?
just like obviously, different times, different civilizations that may look different, but as far as like just
That's my car running. Get my car running.
how we respond to you know to our environment.
Yeah.
Has this always been the algorithm? I don't know. What's up, mom? You could put your other load in.
All right.
It's pretty good out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't want those in the dryer, huh?
With me?
Chris.
Some of them yes, some of them no.
Okay, I put them in the basket.
All right.
Got your big crusty toes in my fries.
Yeah. But yeah, you saying has it always been like this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine so.
Right.
Have human beings evolved that much for it not to be?
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's a split going on
Oh,
between
completely.
what I just mentioned, and those who aren't aligned like that?
Completely. What I see it as is like, birds of a feather flock together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we're always given two sides, two options to pick against,
Yeah.
and it's like I feel like the right option is always the middle. Don't choose either.
Yeah.
And
The middle state
and
makes you more of an observer as well.
yeah, it definitely makes you more of an observer. But like, think about when you're sick, man. You know how like your body, if you have a healthy body, a pathogen or something foreign happens to get inside, what does your body try to do? It removes it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I don't think you can mix the two. Say people who choose to walk through life more aware and try to find the root of the issues, they can't coexist with something that's always in a state of fear and
Rootless.
yeah,
It's not what it
rootless.
has roots, but it's not tapped in with the roots. I'm
Right.
trying to yeah.
Energetically they can't
They pulled in either direction. They pulled
right.
in any direction. They pulled in that direction.
Yeah, they can't
Whatever
exist
stimulus.
in the same environment.
Yeah.
So it has to be a split.
Yeah. Or it's like a limit to where you can go with them.
Yeah.
Like, all right, that's where it stops. You don't pass that limit
Yeah.
in subject matter. Yeah. So that was an interesting that was an enlightening experience, man. Very enlightening experience. Which think is the best nut?
I don't know, man. I feel like I kind of cycle.
Uh,
It depends, it just nut by itself or like with something, because I would say my favorite nut, say inside of a cookie, is probably a pecan,
okay.
right? But by itself,
So you prefer walnuts over the pecan? I mean, you prefer pecans over the walnuts in a
in
cookie?
a cookie, yeah. But by itself, it might be the pistachio or the cashew.
Okay.
Yeah, just by itself, it's probably the pistachio or the cashew.
Yeah. 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 Cashews always reign supreme to me.
Yeah,
But name of cashews, I can't control myself around them. I'm real weak-willed with cashews, so I can't buy them like that.
yeah,
So
I'm
I
equal with
usually
cashews and pistachios.
yeah. So I usually opt for other nuts because I can control myself around them.
Yeah,
Because if I get a thing of cashews that should last me
gone.
days or a week, that should be gone in a day or two. And then I got nut belly. You got a belly full of, you know what I'm saying? And then
That should make you tired.
should make you
Should
tired.
want to
Then
fall down.
later in the day where you should be hungry for a real meal,
Yeah,
you ain't hungry because you got
hungry.
you got nut belly.
It throw off my shits.
So yeah. It should make you constipated sometime. I mean, yeah, man. So yeah, I take it easy on the cashews are ideal when they mix with some other nuts for me.
Yeah,
But because pistachios, I love them, but I can control myself with them. Almonds, I love them, I can control myself with them. Walnuts, I can control myself. But cashews, man, they get me.
yeah, nuts. I think I just gotta stay away from 'em for a while.
Sometimes you gotta leave it though. You gotta remove that stimulus from you. You just gotta leave them alone for a while.
Yeah, definitely.
They make you gain weight too if you eat too much.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I think I'm big.
Just because of nuts.
Yeah,
Nuts alone, just
nuts
nuts.
alone. I fuck up some peanut butter, man.
If you said it like I don't know.
I swear. You know, I
I'm
think
glad you
you
finally
know,
accepted it.
real life does. I'm like 255. I think I'd probably be like a cool 220 or something if I if I
Yeah.
say I just never touched a nut.
Me and this dude used to eat like finish a whole jar of peanut butter in like a day or two. About
Not a
peanut
day,
butter.
like 2 3 days.
Yeah, 2 3
Yeah,
days. He was
damn,
in
that's crazy.
he was in denial. He was in
I
denial
wasn't
about
in
it for a time.
denial, you know what I mean? But sometimes, if I was accused, I'd be like, nah.
Yeah.
But I wasn't in denial.
Okay, he was in denial. You just didn't like you didn't like having to call out. That's more so what it was.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like Steven. You didn't like having it called out. Defenses went up. That's funny. I can get bad with peanut butter too. I was never on his level, but I overdo with the peanut butter sometimes too. You notice too, I be eating a lot of peanut butter. All of a sudden my pants start getting tighter. You get bigger. I'm like, what the hell? And literally you stop eating it. In a
Yeah,
couple weeks, you back to the same
you
size you
tall
was
and
at.
shit, man.
Yeah, so peanut butter is dangerous. Peanut butter is a beast.
It's a trip. I gotta watch it with my son too. I give him bananas and peanut butter. He'll dip the banana in the peanut butter and just suck the peanut butter off.
Oh,
I'm
that's
like, oh
hilarious.
man,
Yeah, you got it from you.
yeah.
Shit, wow. Yeah, what you think about everything, man? All the political stuff going on. You connected to it. You into it. You agreeing with stuff. You're not agreeing with stuff, or you just kind of focus on not even focused on it,
Man,
or a combination.
it depends on the season, man. But it's like I feel like you gotta. They kind of force you to be in a state where you're kind of connected with it, especially when you know you are you're not in a position or a financial position or like too disconnected with it in a way that you would like,
Entirely. Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
you kind of they
Inflation, taxes go affect your ass. Let's go
right,
whatever.
right.
Yeah.
You gotta stay affected. And again, if you going to work every day and shit, people gonna be talking about it. So it's hard to completely get away from it. But you know, the amount of years that I've emphasized in my life, just spirituality and like, metaphysics, that's always been my number one pull in life. It's like for me, that's the most important thing,
Right.
you
Of
know.
course.
Um, and I think about all the time, like when you look at what's going on in the world with the whole, what people call an awakening, or people getting enlightened and stuff. It's a trip to look at where people are at now and like juxtapose it with like back in the day when you hear about the mystery schools and stuff, people would spend 30 years of their life,
40 years. I think like
40
40 and
40
shit.
years of their life becoming a master or something.
Yeah.
And it's like now people do psychedelics a few times, or they like
Yeah. It's a journey.
yeah,
Not just like I got it.
right. It's such a microwave thing now, and it's like I think about that a lot,
Hmm.
and like just how far we probably are from the mark of like actually having like any type of spiritual um what's the word, authority in any type of way. But like when listen to, when or you're in some of these like spiritual communities, you know people talk as if like we've already
Oh yeah, gotten it.
completed the task,
Yeah. The age of Aquarius is here. The
yeah.
Great Awakening. Yeah, the spiritual awakening. Do you feel like that's really going on, like an overall enlightenment or awakening amongst people, or no? Or you feel
Nah,
like people just that's just happy wishing?
not collectively. I feel like
Yeah.
that happens on the individual level. I feel
Right.
like you have to gather the experience and the attainment, and traverse through the certain doorways for that to happen. And I feel like it can happen anytime. But again, it's like I feel like it's an individual attainment. It's not a collective one.
Yeah.
We aren't just all just go fucking. you know,
That's what I'm saying. That's why they be making it sound.
disappear into a different timeline one day.
Uh,
It's like, um,
Celestine prophecy shit.
yeah,
I was on that book when that shit came out.
no,
When I
that was
first
a
read
good
it,
ass book,
that's
man.
a good, that's an intense story.
That was a good ass book.
Yeah, yeah, and that was also a part of that initial where we was
Yeah,
getting into our spirituality and shit like that. The Celestine prophecy.
cause man,
Didn't they make a movie?
yeah, I think they
They
did.
made a movie.
I think
Yeah,
they did. But yeah, it's interesting how they make spirituality seem like an amusement park or like a roller coaster, but like when you meet people who really like initiated in that way, it's like that's a rough life. It's full of sacrifice and responsibility
yeah,
and it's gruesome,
yeah.
you know. And it's I feel like
You
it's
talking about to
worth
like to live it like 100, to go for it 100%.
yeah to go for it 100%. Because it's not about you anymore,
Uh huh.
you know. Not not about the ego side of yourself, you know.
Right.
It's like it becomes about something something bigger than that, and it's
Yeah.
like nowadays people are so in line, with instant gratification. It's like you wouldn't last a day in that world, you know.
Right. Right.
You wouldn't last a day in that world.
By that world, what do you?
Huh?
By that world, what does that mean to you? Like when you say that world?
But that world, I mean, like you become like a vessel, and you become like your ears open to so many um what you refer to as other types of entities and forces
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and higher principles, that the idea of free will kind of goes out the window, because like you're moving in accordance with
Right. It's not free will no
a
more.
higher aspect of
Yeah.
yourself that has a more of a narrow
It's more narrow.
um,
It's a narrow path.
principle.
It's a narrow
Yeah,
path.
it's a narrow path, and it's a more focused purpose, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
have a focused purpose, free will doesn't really exist, because you're abiding by certain rules, you're abiding by
Yeah.
certain laws. You have to
Yeah.
you have
I
to
think.
conduct yourself in a certain fashion to um, remain in flow and in contact with whatever that higher principle is.
Would you say that? Would you say free will doesn't exist, or free will does exist, but you're choosing to be on the path that you're aligned for?
I feel like where we're at right now, that's where that applies, where free will does exist for us right now, and we have to make the choice to align ourselves with certain principles or certain
Right.
rights in order to access um, different states. But
Yeah.
once you're there and you're in that state and you're in that flow and you're in that what you can refer to as a different um, 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 aspect of your soul, you can't remain in that if you're not upholding
Oh,
specific
right, right,
rights.
right, 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 right,
You
right. I
know?
get that. You can't even stay here in this space
Yeah.
if you philandering off over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. It's interesting. I can't. I don't even remember what sparked that. What sparked us getting to that. That's wild. But it's interesting to see where shit's about to go in the coming years, man. What do you feel like? We've talked about this, and I hear other people talk about it. What do you feel about the sort of the pre-pandemic and a post-pandemic world? Because it's a different world. I know for me, it's a different world. Just energetically, the world feels different. Uh, Entertainment and the comedy world done change. Um, it's definitely like and I'm not the first person to say this. It's not an original thought, but I've experienced it. It's definitely like the pre-pandemic world and the post-pandemic world.
Mm-hmm.
hmm Do you feel like that's like Do you have a clue as far as what the switch is? Is it something? Is it spiritual, or is it that the kind of the powers that be are pushing certain plans along? Is it a combination of the two? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Um.
Technology, AI. You know, it's a lot going on right now. And there's just shit just and the energy. It's been like an energy switch, and I feel like within yourself, you can still be correct within yourself. But I feel like this energy. I feel like it's largely doesn't feel good. It's largely like a negative.
Yeah.
It just feels kind of unalive and kind of dead. Does that make sense? Does that
Yeah.
feel?
In all honesty, I can't say for certain, but based off of what I feel and the main difference that I feel since the pandemic is I feel like however you refer to them, the the hidden powers, the deep state, the shadow government, however choose to refer to them, I feel like
I was gonna say something, but I can't say it on next time. Be posting. I was gonna say the faggots. I was like, I didn't know I just said it. All right, go ahead. You said.
I don't know if I want you to post it.
Nah.
But I feel like yeah, however you like to refer to them, the deep state, the government. Um, I feel like their mission in playing God has like severely has exponentially
Accelerating.
accelerated, and like for me that like the feeling of like the dead world being on one side and the living world being on the other. I feel like that plays a definite role because I feel like the poles,
They've widened.
the
Yeah,
poles
it's
have
more
widened,
it's more decisive.
and a lot of people are funneled into again this false creator of the government, the deep state, and this kind of matrix that they've created, and people who are um, more in tune with um, the natural world or the 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 yeah the natural world, the organic world, they're being pulled this way, and that's for me. That's what the split feels like. Again, this is AI
Yeah,
and this is organic, and I feel like we feel it in our bodies, we feel it, in the
yeah,
external, we feel it on the internal, and that would be my explanation for it. It's just like you really feel the artificial
definitely a split.
and the
Yeah,
organic.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely hear that. It's very strong.
Yeah. You even feel it in yourself, it's like, that's what I feel like, being aware is like you can recognize the real and organic aspects in yourself, and you can recognize the artificial and the
Yeah,
in the programs
they
that
both exist.
that you picked up, and both of them are inside of you, and that's what awareness is so I feel
Yeah,
like it's being able to tell the difference between the two,
and I feel like having to survive in this first world matrix kind of pulls you down and keeps some of the AI in you.
Yeah.
Whereas otherwise, it'd be easy just to go forth and become, but just more connected and more aligned with your spirit. But being
Hmm.
pulled down and having to make money and
Yeah.
having to go to work keeps some of those other programs running in you because you can't fully break free from them. You know what I'm saying? But even having that knowledge or even understanding that's what's happening.
Yeah, right.
You
That's
know what
the
I mean?
start,
Because you get that space to yourself. You can get in alignment with yourself. And you develop these beliefs and these standards for yourself, and you just want to grow and learn more, become more in tune. But it's like, fuck, I gotta go to this goddamn job,
Yeah, right.
this low level,
Yeah.
low
Regardless of
level job, get this money. You know what I'm saying? So that's like that keeps those programs running. I feel like once you can somehow break free from that, then you can
yeah.
continue the growth and further expansion.
Yeah, I heard this quote. I think I forgot where I heard it at, but it's like the strongest reality wins, and I think about that all the time.
Hmm.
And it's like I feel like sometimes you go through cycles of life where it's like when you are you get beat down by your job and just the day to day fucking grind
Yeah.
of that. Um, and like when you start to get in that state, that's shit, man. That reality is drowning out
Hmm.
the reality
Oh
of
yeah. Yeah.
um, the other side of the organic side, you
Yeah.
know,
Oh yeah.
and it's like you just got to make that voice in your head of the, or that it's a representation of the organic larger than that of the, you
Right.
know,
Right.
AI.
Yeah. It's hard to have that going all the time though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's hard to have that going all the time. I was about to say something, Christina. True. I mean, losing my thought. What was I about to say, man? Sometimes I have to go into the mind instead of the spirit. Because sometimes when I'm like in like a real worldly grind mode, like I feel like the spirit get kind of not washed out, but
Mm.
like I get real physical, just
Yeah.
get real physical, man. And since my spirit, because sometimes since my spirit is not as loud, I gotta remind myself in my mind of what it is.
Yeah.
I gotta keep it in my mind. Okay, I know I'm not feeling it right now. I know I'm not feeling it right now, but I gotta be strong in the mind and remember what it actually is, even though I'm not necessarily in the experience of it
Mm.
at the moment.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like maybe I'm working, grinding. My meditations ain't really hitting right now. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm.
ain't having a break. And it's like, man, there's those moments where I gotta keep it up here
Yeah.
because I'm not at the moment. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it in the spirit.
Mm.
That's where so that to me, that's where I kind of get in the mind. I got to get in the mind of it instead of the spirit of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because eventually the spirit, whatever, something could be alive, whether you take a break or vacate, whatever it looks like, the spirit will come back around and remind you somehow.
Mm.
For me, but while it's not, I gotta keep it in the mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Man, I think the goal is just to get them working together,
Yeah,
because it's like I view mind as like the mechanism, and like the spirit is like the embodiment.
yeah,
But if your engine is faulty, that's gonna fuck everything
yeah,
up.
yeah,
you know, and I feel like that's what creates a split between the mind and the spirit. Mostly, it's like they're moving in two different directions.
hmm, yeah. I hear that.
It's like how can my mind fuel my spirit
Hmm. Yeah,
instead of like, oh, okay, being in my physicality and being in the physical realm is my separating, but that's my mind stuff, and then I got to go over here to do my spiritual stuff.
yeah,
Keeps that separation.
yeah,
That's what you hear about, with all this, the reprogramming and the positive self-talk and
yeah. That's what it is.
the tapes and stuff. Is
Yeah,
getting
that's
our
what you're
mind
telling
on the
yourself.
same page.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah, you just see the I don't know, but another way I see the split, and this kind of goes back to old girl, where when things happen, where my mind automatically goes versus where other people's minds automatically go.
Mm.
I'm like, I'm already trying to typically make a positive out of something, or if not making a positive, just not tripping as hard as other people
Yeah.
on it. Whereas they go that direction, and they go the neurotic direction and having to control everything, and everything outside of their control, they just lose it.
Yeah.
We never gonna live in this utopian world.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Any final thoughts?
Um, Man, at the end of the day, like I said, I don't believe in this. Like, all of us are just gonna be miraculously saved. Um, but I do feel like we're living in unique times, and I don't know what that means. Um, but um, yeah, just what we're living through right now, it does seem different than, at least to my experience, that I haven't seen any other generation, or through the history that I've read, or you know older generations that I personally know. There's aspects that, like, you know that's that are that no other generation has had to go through, or
Yeah,
experienced, like the speed at which things are changing.
yeah,
So yeah, I don't know what that added element is, but yeah, shit, all we can do is remain aware.
I'd be wondering, is it going to be like, is it always going to be gradual, so you're not really going to feel it like that, or if we already had it, you know what I mean? But in America, in this first world, we've been very don't get me wrong, people suffer, people poor, violence happen, but we've been very insulated from a lot of what the rest of the world deals with.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like we've been very, I mean, yeah, man, the first world, we done dominated enough other countries and built it off slavery and other things. We became the baddest motherfuckers on the planet and the richest place on the planet, so that those of us who live here, compared to what the rest of the world goes through, we kind of okay, right? Relatively.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm wondering if there could be that what's that moment look like where it's like, oh shit is different now. Like, is that coming?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People talk
Right.
about, the rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. You know what I'm saying? This spiral, is there going to be a moment where the rich are going to be rich, but is there going to be a moment where, this country has lost its greatness?
You know
Or
what
would it
they
consider, greatness is subjective, but what the United States considers to be its greatness?
man, one thing I think about a lot is
Was it the pandemic? Was that things are different now?
one
You
thing
know
I
what I
think
mean?
about is like, the populace, right? The world populace.
Yeah.
Have we been complicit for too long? Like, have we
Yeah, we made comfortable.
have like, is there
Give them enough food, enough entertainment. Give
can
them
we
enough.
can like on a physical level, you know what I mean? Because I firmly believe that on the spiritual level, they haven't they can't access